Bishop Raphael Thattil was ordained to the priesthood in 1980, having studied Canon Law and Theology in Rome. He became the first rector of Mary Matha Major Seminary in Thrissur, Kerala, in South India. 2 years later, in January 2010, he was appointed the auxiliary bishop of the Diocese of Thrissur. Then, on January 7, 2018, Holy Father Pope Francis appointed him as the first bishop of the Syro-Malabar eparchy of Shamshabad. Bishop Thattil's simple way of life, naturally humorous conversational style, and his youthful personality has earned him a place in the hearts of many young people. Bishop Thattil serves as the Ecclesiastical Advisor to the JesusYouth International Council and sat down with us for a chat that is sure to keep you engaged and make you laugh.
So, Bishop, welcome to the InFocus program of Kairos Media, the media ministry of JesusYouth Movement. And so let's jump right into it. And I'm sure some people have heard of you before, some people haven't. And I know for me, when I first learned about you, I Googled you right away and looked up what information was available online. But let's say somebody just asks you, who is Bishop Raphael Thattil?
So I come from a very ordinary family. I'm the 10th child of my mother. Soon after my birth, my father died at a massive heart attack. So I did not have much memories about my father. And I consider my whole life is a gift from the Lord. And my priesthood, I would like to define back a gift back to God.
When did you first feel that calling in your heart to follow Christ?
I was an altar boy from the 5th standard. I was very faithful and I was very obedient. And when I have passed my 10th standard, in India we call it matriculation examination, I told for the first time to Mom that I would like to go to priesthood. She loved it, but by words she told me that, why don't you go for junior college, for pre-degree, you will be more mature. My elder brothers, they all said, no, it is too early that you go to the seminary. But my parish priest encouraged me that you can do the junior college from the seminary. So in fact, I have entered into the minor seminary of the diocese at the age of 14.
Very early start.
Very early stage. And I never and ever had a second thought that I should come out of the seminary. I always loved the altar and serving the Lord from the altar. And even now, really I am satisfied priest.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Thank you.
And if I'm correct, Bishop, this year marks your 40th anniversary. Is that right?
Yes. I will be 40 years in priesthood by this December, next December 21st.
Wow, congratulations. And thank you for your many years of wonderful service to the church. And now more recently, thank you for your wonderful service to us as a movement, as our Ecclesiastical Advisor. So Bishop, I guess my first question to you is, what would you say is your first message to all the youth of the church?
Recently, Holy Father, Pope Francis said, we sometimes say the youth is the tomorrow of the church, is the future of the church. And he said we have to correct it. They are the today. And our investment should be for the youth. Very often we consider that youngsters need to grow more, need to grow further so that they can contribute. I consider that youth is the treasure of the church. Holy Father made another allegory. We read in the Gospel, a young man found out a treasure in the field. And he went, sold out all his possessions, came back to purchase that land with treasure. The Holy Father said, you have to turn upside down the interpretation. The church has found out a treasure in the field. And that treasure is our youngsters. We should sell out all our possessions so that we possess our youngsters. So I think that youngsters are the future and the treasure of the whole church. Without them, the church is zero.
Well, that certainly is encouraging to me as a young man myself. So thank you, Bishop. Speaking about some of those treasures that the youth possess, what are some positive qualities, some extraordinary talents, some things that have really inspired you about the youth in your travels all over the world?
I think the younger generation of the church, not only of the church, of the society, are the most natural part of the human race. The portion with a lot of initiatives, a portion with a lot of generosity. Sometimes we see only the bad part of the adulthood. We forget to see the good side of the youngsters. For example, Jesus felt compassion over the crowd, and he asked the crowd, where do we find bread to feed this hungry crowd? Peter said, it's a out of time question. It's already evening. We don't have anything. Our budget is zero.
Right.
And we need at least 200 dinars to purchase bread for this crowd. It's impossible. Please permit them to go out so that they can find out something in between on the way go home. But Jesus asked, anybody has something? And 5,000 elderly people, and in our Kerala counting, double will be the woman. If you take 3 children, it is 15,000. Nobody had anything. But a young, small child from the backside came forward with 5 loaves of barley bread and 2 tiny fishes. He was brought to Jesus by Andrew, and Jesus opened his hands and asked, could you give me? Without any second question, he surrendered the whole thing into the hands of Jesus. He raised and looked up the Heavenly Father and thanked, blessed it, broke it, and that became the multiplication of the loaves, the miracle. I think that Jesus saw that young man behind.
Right.
The 12 apostles did not find him except Andrew. So this is, I think, the problem. Very often there are a lot of positive things among the youngsters, but we are not able to discover it. We are not able to make possible and make use of them for the multiplication of the loaves of the bread.
Right. So how might we discover those gifts and talents the young people have to offer?
Very often I think that the church, especially the traditional church, considers the possibility of the church inside the walls of the church.
So in other words, a closed off church.
Closed off church. Very often.
Right.
If you look into the documents of Second Vatican Council, there are two documents which speaks about the church. Number one is Lumen Gentium. That is an interiority of the church. And Gaudium et Spes, the exteriority of the church. One is in the church, the other is in the world. The space of the youngsters becomes more relevant in the world. Sometimes maybe I am speaking from the background of Kerala. All those who come to the church according to our traditional priesthood should become either priest or nun. We need a lot of good doctors. We need a lot of young scientists. I know one doctor who is very reputed in my country, a good physician, not very much hungry over money. He is serving the people with a lot of love. And very often he is counted to be as one of the best doctors, best physicians. Before handing over the prescription of medicine into the hands of the patient, he will give you a medal of Heart of Jesus and tell him that, my dear brother, you may be a Hindu, a Muslim, I am a Christian, but I tell you that doctor and medicine may take only half the way. God alone take you all the way. Once he was interviewed by Shalom, and he said, my mission and ministry is not inside the church. From inside the church I have received the communion, received the sacraments, but my role as a young doctor is in the world. So I think that very often we are not making use of the talents of our younger people, especially they are talented in sports, they are talented in music, they are talented in media. I think that we have to give them chance to make use of their talents, to glorify God,
Right.
and to build the church.
Right.
I'm Surya from JesusYouth Houston. These magazines have really helped build my relationship with God, and I love the variety of articles that they provide for the youth and like myself. Me and my friends really enjoy the Pope Talks and the Mission Talks, which we can really relate to, especially since most of them are written by young adults, which we look up to, and we hope to go on missions such as them as we grow older. I really recommend this magazine to people my age and all ages. It's really amazing.
Would you not join us?
For many people such as yourself, Bishop, or for other priests, or for other elders and leaders in the church, the mission has become much more about encouraging the youth and accompanying the youth. I've also noticed, Bishop, that many young people have an eager desire to serve the Lord, but we are bombarded in the world by so many different voices, by the media, by technology, by so much noise. So how do we as young people learn to be quiet and listen to the mission that God has given to each of us in our hearts? How do we discover our personal mission in the church?
One of the best models of youth apostolate in the church, I consider Don Bosco. He was playing football with the naughty boys. He was doing magic to attract the youngsters. And Salesians, according to the spirituality of Don Bosco, said, every child is a world of possibility. Every child has a lot to contribute for Jesus, for the world, for the church. So we have a very ultra-traditional conservative attitude that youngsters are bad, youngsters has nothing to offer, youngsters are very negative. No, I think that even in their negativity, they would like to tell a lot to the church. For example, in Kerala, in our younger age, we were all playing football in the ground of the church. And sometimes, we naughty children or youngsters break the glass windows. And I still remember one of our parish priests coming and encouraging that don't worry, we will get a new glass window tomorrow, but we will not get you tomorrow. So that kind of encouragement, and that priest who supported the sports and football later became a reason to form at least the district football team of my native Thrissur district. But I tell you that very often we become negative towards the youngsters. They are active, sometimes they are overactive, sometimes they speak, sometimes they overspeak, but they would like to share to the church some possibilities which can be beneficial to the challenges of the church.
And what would you say some of those benefits are, Bishop? What great services, what benefits can young people give to the church today?
I would like to tell you that I was also thinking about music, sports, even media. These are some areas our youngsters are very much interested. It is true that we don't give them a chance, and sometimes they are made use by the powers of the world. JesusYouth has a beautiful band team, Rex Band. I was in Dubai for the Jubilee celebration of JesusYouth movement in Gulf. And I found at least 10 to 12 teams of band. So what I tell you that they say that we may not be able to attract the youngsters by offering mass. Offering mass is very good, but they are very much interested to sing during the mass. So I have a feeling that we have to give more chance for the youngsters, telling the opinion. What is the comfort part of the elderly people, the senior people? they will say yes to all the proposals of our clergy. They will not object. They say what you said is the right. But sometimes even in their heart they have difference of opinion.
Right.
But young still sometimes tell it to your face that you are wrong. It is uncomfortable, but they tell the truth. And we sometimes fear the truth. So I think that the younger generation are more sincere, more talented, can contribute more to the church, especially before the present challenges where the church feels helpless. That's my opinion.
Right. Well, thank you, Bishop. And it sounds to me like young people have so much to contribute to the church, so much that they can offer, and it seems like the message that you're saying at its heart is just give the young people a chance. They have such a great deal to offer. So thank you again, because again, being a young person myself, that's encouraging to hear. So then, moving towards Jesus Youth specifically, towards our movement, what would you say is the role of Jesus Youth as a movement in the church today?
It is a very recent movement.
True.
Sometimes the history says it's a part of the charismatic movement. But in a quarter century, Jesus Youth movement has proved to be a powerful movement, a very fruitful movement, very faithful movement. And I am very much attracted by the motto of Jesus Youth movement, a missionary movement at the service of the church. Recently, when Holy Father celebrated the extraordinary mission in October 2019, Holy Father wrote a beautiful letter to the Universal Church. It was concluded with a quotation, "A church, if not sent, will naturally end." And I think the tragedy at present we see in the developed countries, the downfall of the church, is an aftermath of missing the dimension of mission. So I like Jesus Youth movement as a missionary movement. Secondly, at the service of the church. I think that how the missionary movement can be at the service of the mission. In the 17th century, we have discovered continents. We have discovered America. We have discovered Africa. We have discovered Latin America. We have discovered Australia. And we were sending missionaries to baptize. And the church at present in these new continents are the fruits of our missionary work. But I think that now more continent is to be discovered. But we have new continents like media, new continents like music, new continents like sports, new continents like mobile phone, new continents like television. They have to be baptized. Evangelization has 3 phases: evangelization, re-evangelization, and new evangelization. And I consider the role of Jesus Youth movement is in the field of new evangelization. They have to baptize the continents of media, the continents of music, the continents of the talents, the continents of the time. At present, we are not able to touch the media. We are not able to evangelize the mobile phones. We are not able to evangelize the cinema world. I consider the work and the mission of the Jesus Youth Movement is to baptize, complementing these dimensions to build the church.
So, and if I may ask, Bishop, you mentioned evangelization, re-evangelization, and new evangelization. So, how would you describe new evangelization as different from the other two, from the first two?
They are complementing each other. Evangelization, re-evangelization, and new evangelization are not separate realities.
Okay.
I would like to tell you that endeavoring to evangelization, the mother church, which is going for evangelization, receive the gift of re-evangelization. And similarly, these are the new areas which never had before. For example, during the Second Vatican Council in 1962 and concluded in 1965, we did not have a world of media except print media. We did not have a world of television. We did not have a world of mobile phones. So these are the new areas, and new evangelization tells you how you can make use of these possibilities for evangelization.
Right. For the same mission.
For the same mission.
But in a new way.
In a new way.
I see. So how do you see your role as our movement's ecclesiastical advisor?
Cricket becomes a means for evangelization. If you invite them for my preaching, they won't come. But the bishop is playing with you cricket, they will come.
So you play cricket?
I try. And your methodology of attracting the youngsters, attracting the families, gives us the message that we fail because our methodology is not attractive.
This is the age of apps. From communicating with people under the same roof, ordering food, buying groceries, to networking with a stranger, we are constantly in touch with these special apps. Daily, there is an information overload. How do you navigate through this overabundance in the digital world? How do you choose what is best for your body, mind, and soul? Kairos Global Magazine strives to become that chicken soup for your overwhelmed soul. An initiative of Jesus Youth, Kairos Global brings the life-transforming power of words with its vibrant design and potent stories of how young people are transforming the world around them through the power of Christ. It is unparalleled in its ability to reach today's young generation. Being new in its ardor, methods, and expression, it is an essential lifestyle tool for evangelization, indispensable for every Jesus Youth. A simple way to introduce Christ through the testimonies, sharings, and real-life experiences of young people. Don't believe us? Try leaving a copy of the magazine at your library, workplace, dorm, or classroom and see how it opens up avenues to share the love of God you have experienced to others. we are reaching out, putting out into the deep water and letting our nets down for a catch. Would you not join us?